internal turbulence, China's now ready to receive tourists and their money. Without any delay, 2,000 passengers and crew are cheerfully nodded ashore. Passengers have taken the hint that perhaps it might be tactful not to overdress. The welcoming music's distinctive, though unmelodic, so that old monarchist band leader Joe Loss attempts to lead its pervasive drumming into the mood.
Now I'd like to give you our plan for your tour today. This morning, we are going to the carpet mill. That is our first stop. And then we will attend the banquet given by the mayor of the People's Government of Qingdao. I wish each of you will take the time schedule with you. You see, it's very important for you to be cooperative and to be on time.
In our motorcade of coaches brought in from surrounding cities, we feel like members of the Politburo waved through every road junction.
Qingdao is a beautiful seaside city.
This municipality has 8 times more people than the city of Manchester, yet until the turn of the century, it was a fishing village. Then, after the murder of 2 German missionaries, Admiral von Tirpitz landed an expeditionary force here and built a naval base, so the city might have been the German Hong Kong.
The city covers an area of 5,096 square kilometers with a population of 4 million. And the city proper covers an area of 92 square kilometers with a population of 1 million. Now the
Japanese took over in 1914 and again in 1938. And after the war, the US Navy was here until, in 1949, Chairman Mao dismissed the Yankee dollar. Today it seems to be quite welcome again.
The tourism center.
Qingdao has a textile industry, a fishery, and a lot of the nation's main resource, her 1,000 million people. Such children, brought here this morning to perform for us, are in China today a fearful delight. In some provinces, women with 1 child must have an abortion if they become pregnant again, and in any family with 2 children, the father or the mother must be sterilized. Despite this, the population's expanding by 13 million babies, or more than the population of London, every year. The enchanting children seem tireless. Wind them up and they perform endlessly. Before the inevitable factory inspection, cruisers are entertained to tea.
Well, happy days. Happy days. Yes.
Oh, what about me?
This is the beauty.
They also receive a very long speech from the factory chairman. His extended welcome tells us rather more about the history of carpet production at this mill than we wish to know.
Now, this mill was set up in 1954. At that time, it was a small unit with 6 workers. The carpet produced here is typical of a Chinese pattern.
We're finally released to admire the beautiful and subtle carpets they're producing for export.
I want to get my own nuts.
After the mayor's banquet in the city auditorium, a children's orchestra. Cruisers who've enjoyed their lunch try to show their pleasure, while the East strives to entertain and to understand the West. For, as the Chinese say, to see once is better than to hear 100 times. Outside, those children have been wound up again for our departure. Captain Arnott, master of the QE2 and honoured guest, has become almost invisible in his civvies. Today he's overshadowed by these far more significant figures. This crowd of 20,000 had queued at dawn for tickets at 30 pence out of an average wage of £4 a week, and thousands were turned away, for this is the sporting event of the year. Qingdao FC playing the QE2. The ship's fielding a few stewards who've just served lunch, a singer from the Joe Loss band, a couple of stokers who are observed, as you might expect, suitably and scrutably. While contained within their own tiny stand, the away team supporters watch the vice mayor and their staff captain greet the teams.
All the best.
The referee is a local taxi driver. That's him, and very good he proves to be, whatever the opinion of visiting supporters.
Well, I hope you win, but I hope our side win first.
The rumour about returned tickets proved untrue. There's no car park, of course, but a noticeable bicycle park. And afterwards, every bike finds its owner. There's a Chinese puzzle for you. A Cunard vice president told me that before such a crowd, he'd be embarrassed if the QE2 won too easily. But it soon becomes clear that there's not much danger of that. They're no match for the semi-professional Chinese. In that eastern sea, the QE2 supporters are outnumbered. They're far more vocal. Such football fans provide an English puzzle for the Chinese. Spectating at this level is, of course, illegal. But for such a match, not even a good party man can resist an afternoon out on the tiles. After the first few goals, some wily guidance must have descended from the director's box, for the home team seems to relax, almost forcing the QE2 into scoring. What's more, the Orient is introduced to a new and doubtless mystifying chant. can't think what the Chinese made of it. The final score's a diplomatic 5-2, so no faces are lost. Yet despite that very obvious defeat, QE2 supporters take a lap of honour and are resoundingly cheered. It was indeed a friendly game. A few celebratory firecrackers, but not a hooligan in sight.
The Chinese, they said it was an amateur side, but you saw the first 3 goals. Wouldn't have disgraced one of our league divisions.
No, first rate.
Until they slowed down, yeah.
Terry Conroy, a vice president of Cunard.
Well, I think the feeling was, where I was sitting in the stand, that friendship was more important than winning by 24 goals. So I think word was passed to, you know...
The word went down.
Yeah, smile a little more and run a little less.
So as we sail away from China now, Terry, from Qingda, how did the visit go from a QE2 point of view?
It was very successful. Never with that instant to take a ship as big as this into a country, frankly, that's just not dealing with it, ever. Particularly a small town like that. They've never seen a ship as big as this. They've had to dredge harbours, build wharfs, and bring in transport. They've shipped in people from throughout the country. You know, people walk down the gangway, they felt all these people were always there smiling. They've come from Peking, they've come from Dalian, they've come from Canton, just to have enough people there to handle us. You know, the whole thing with success, it had to be successful. Everyone had to save face. Every department, from the immigration, who really everything keyed onto, you may not have realised, but we came on board at 5:30 down the river, and I came on with about 90 of them. And we hauled ourselves into the ship. And one thing was important, to make the whole day work, the immigration had to clear 1,000 crew and 1,100 passengers in the space of 2 hours. And I've been brainwashing them for months on how to do it. And I said, if you cannot get our people, the ship clear, and our people down the gangway at 8:30, we can't come, it's impossible, time will be too short. And so everybody worked very hard to achieve it.
So they really want you. I mean, they want you as much as you want to go.
They want the foreign exchange.
Ah. Now, what do the passengers say today? I mean, well, are they sorry to leave that grey, shrouded place, or
I would say the vast
relieved to get
majority
away?
are thrilled for this experience. They've just never had an experience like it, and I'm not saying they all want to rush back tomorrow, perhaps, but they're thrilled to pieces that they've been there.
Now, you see, this is the ultimate symbol of capitalism, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
You're coming in with 1,000 rich people.
That's right.
An opulence, which is quite extraordinary, even in the West.
That's right, yeah.
So you are hitting them with a heavy one, right from the start.
It used to worry us. We used to say to our passengers, you know, China is this, and perhaps you don't want to wear your best furs, and perhaps it may be better if you left the good jewellery and the safety deposits, and, you know, they're rather plain, and, you know, we tried to say to them, you know, don't really make such an ostentatious show, and most of our passengers would follow. But now, frankly, we've given up. The Chinese look at them as, I suppose, as visitors from another planet. I recall that very first time 4 years ago when we took this ship into Dalian, and 2 days, we had 1 or 2 concerns, many things that could have gone wrong, incidents, so on and so. Everything went beautifully. It was marvellous. And just before the ship was about to sail, face had been saved, the tours had gone well, the ship had docked, it hadn't stuck, the pilots were terrific, everybody was thrilled to pieces, everyone was smiling, we were smiling, they were smiling, everybody was smiling, and I was down just where they were taking the gangway out, and there must have been 1,000 of them. The officials just down the bottom of the gangway, and I'm there, I've been everyone's friend, I was waving, and suddenly the captain's on the bridge and pulled the gangway out, and next minute I hear this voice, "Mr. Conroy! God, terrible problem!" And hold the gangway, and I rushed down, what is happening? And it was dusk, and he was holding a business card, and I was trying to see over his shoulder, "This is a passenger on your ship." And looking over his shoulder, and I eventually made out the name of an Englishman with an office in London, a managing director of some firm in London, and I said, "He's a passenger." I'm sure he was on the ship. What's the problem? I thought he's gotten lost, he's in jail, he's hurt himself, it could have been anything. And he said he bought a bicycle in the friendship shop. And I said, "He did?" And he said, "Yes, and we have failed to deliver it to the ship." "Oh," I said, "please, would I get a message personally to him? It was going to be air freighted by them to his office in London, and please not to let him think they hadn't delivered it." So we waved goodbye to China.
Any gift from a foreign land will be treasured, say the Chinese, though it be but a swan's feather. And the ruffled feathers in this baggage hold show that our costly cruisers are committing the holiday sin of the 80s. They're travelling heavy. Well, at least they didn't have to pay any excess. Passengers have their own ways of trying to get their money's worth.